21 past 7, ABC Radio, Hobart. So we heard this story. Councillor Jax Fox raised concerns that a group who described themselves as concerned about women's sex-based rights had a booking at Town Hall, and they were worried that that was an endorsement by the council if it happened there. To have the group there. Now, the people we haven't heard from is the group themselves and what their views and concerns are. So be aware listening to this for some in the intersex and transgender community. It's not stuff you're going to want to hear, and it's stuff you'll have heard before. For other people, they're still finding their way and learning their way through these issues of intersectionality, where different people's rights and sense of self come into conflict. And these are difficult conversations to have, but it's so important that we keep having them as well. Bear in mind, the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne has got great fact sheets and resources on these issues, including from their highly respected gender service. And in Tassie, Working It Out is our sexuality, gender and intersex status support and education service, including for parents and families through their Being Proud program. So if you want accurate, up-to-date kind of best practice information, that's where it comes from. But one of the members and the founder of the Coalition for Biological Reality, which is the group that has this booking in February for this meeting, is Stassja Fry, and I caught up with her. So we heard earlier this week Hobart City Council decided to allow a meeting to go ahead that was looking at people who are opposed to what they call gender identity ideology. Councillor Jax Fox was concerned that this could be discriminatory in terms of the anti-discrimination rules of the Hobart City Council. And the group, the Coalition for Biological Reality, wanted to have their say. Stassja Fry is from that group. Hi, Stassja.
Hi, Rick. How are you going?
Yeah, good. So what's the idea really behind this forum?
Well, we have concerns around how gender identity is being included in legislation. It's having a huge impact on girls' and women's rights, women's sports, and other aspects like changing same-sex attraction, replacing that with same-gender attraction in legislation has a huge impact on gay and lesbian people. As we've seen in Tasmania, a lesbian woman, Jessica Hoyle, tried to hold an event just for lesbian women. That was found to be in breach of anti-discrimination legislation because it would have excluded transgender women. So those are some aspects. The other huge issue with gender identity ideology is the medicalisation of children with gender dysphoria. Now, in 80% of cases, children with gender dysphoria will grow out of the condition and come to terms with their sexed body.
Can I ask where that statistic is from?
Look, there are a number of studies. I'm giving you an average of 80%. The highest number in one of those studies was 98% of the children resolved their gender dysphoria, and the lowest was, I think, around 67% resolved their dysphoria. Now, if we're putting children on a path of puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, double mastectomies, we know that that's happened to a girl who was 15 here in Australia. She was referred by the Royal Children's Hospital to a private surgeon to have her breasts removed. So we know that these things are happening, and we're concerned that a large number of children are being unnecessarily medicalised under the current gender affirmation model.
Stassja, this isn't just one direction or just one age, though. There are people who feel that they identify differently of all ages. I know people who've gone through procedures like this age 70.
Yeah.
It is as a middle-aged person. Are you including in your forum people with lived experience of transitioning and their positive experiences of it, as well as looking at your concerns?
No, we feel that gets enough media attention. We want to highlight what we think is going wrong with these sorts of policies and legislation.
How do you do that without causing harm, misgendering people, dead-naming people?
Well, I think the threshold for harm is really quite low in this debate. I think people need to toughen up and, think about what women are exposed to every day on social media and in the media. Women have to have a very thick skin to get through this world, given the way that we're portrayed. So I think, toughen up, listen to our side of the story, and, I would like to see a proper debate on this issue.
Isn't that the equivalent of like a patriarchal male saying to a women's rights campaign, oh, you just need to toughen up? Yeah, it's rough.
No, I don't think so. Look, there are such huge problems for, as I said, women, gay and lesbian people, and children under what's currently happening. We deserve, free speech, freedom of assembly. We deserve to be heard. We're not doing this to offend trans people. We're doing this because we have genuine concerns about the current paradigm.
ABC Radio Breakfast. You're listening to Stassja Fry from Coalition for Biological Reality. I'm Rick Goddard. This is the group who wanted to have the meeting and have permission to have the meeting in the Hobart Town Hall that Councillor Jax Fox was concerned would be an endorsement of the views being presented at it. So Stassja, what would your group, the Coalition for Biological Reality, like to see? Are you wanting to exclude people? Are you wanting to create categories for people? Or do you just want the legislation to be more nuanced?
Federally, in the Sex Discrimination Act, we would like to see the definition of woman added back into the legislation. What we would like to see is third spaces for trans and gender diverse people to use, whilst still maintaining women's sex-based spaces. We would certainly like to see Senator Claire Chandler's private Senator's bill passed by government. That's to protect women's sport. So that's a few of the things. And on the issue of the medicalisation of children, we would just like to see an inquiry into what's going on and a look at all the available information and research in order to come to better decisions around how to treat this condition in children.
Stassja, I know that for a lot of people it's confusing, it's really unfamiliar, and we're going to talk to some of the people on the front lines of doing that work later on. Thanks for talking with us today.
Thanks so much for having me on, Rick. Cheers.
7:30, ABC Radio Hobart. Stassja Fry from the group booking that room. It's nearly time for headlines.